David Halpern here with your Fresh from the Field insight. I had conversations this week with salespeople from Boehringer Ingelheim, Melinta, Biogen, Janssen, and UCB. And I asked them how they would rate their ability to sell clinically. Most folks consider themselves somewhere between proficient and masterful at clinical selling. I truly was not expecting what quickly became apparent, that some have a surprising notion of what clinical selling even is. Many of the reps I spoke with had a firm grasp of clinical presenting, but less of a feel for how to execute clinical selling. I heard about the SOAP method, the flip the title into a question method, the dazzle them with your understanding of statistics method, the 6 steps to covering the key elements of a study method, and more. What I heard inconsistently was how to use clinical data to address the issues of importance to the customer in order to provide value that is uniquely provided by your product and associated offerings. For some reason, when some salespeople pick up a source of clinical information, we go into technical telling mode instead of value provision mode. It's as if a clinical reprint is a license to forget what we know about selling and providing value, and we back up the proverbial truck and dump everything onto the HCP's desk. We wouldn't think about going coast to coast with a core visual aid. Why do we do it with a clinical reprint? So, am I simply applying an unfair standard? Am I discussing something that is more advanced than fundamental clinical selling? I don't think so. Clinical presenting is something that is done by a journal ad. Clinical selling is something that is done by a sales professional. Part of our job as a salesperson is to educate, but our primary job as a salesperson is to influence. And that requires more than the ability to speak learnedly about protocol designs, patient populations, endpoints, statistics, outcomes, etc. Influencing an HCP with clinical data means knowing how to weave selling skills into our discussion to address the HCP's needs, leading to the unique solution that is our product and offerings. And this definition of clinical selling is what training must be about if you want to make a measurable impact on the business. This has been your Fresh from the Field insight for the week. See you next time with more food for thought.